What's up everybody, and welcome back to another video on digital marketing. My name's Alex and I create digital marketing videos about my everyday life as a digital marketing specialist and the tools, experience, knowledge, and resources that I use every day in the digital marketing industry. So whether this is your first or last time here, hopefully not the last, welcome aboard. If you enjoy this video and want to see more digital marketing content from just a regular dude with no BS doing everyday digital marketing responsibilities and duties, go ahead and go down below, give this video a thumbs up, and subscribe to my channel for any new digital marketing content. Today, I'm going to be giving a brief overview of my MacBook Pro, as well as my iPad Pro, and how I use these every day as a digital marketing specialist. Welcome back in everybody, and like I said before, I'm going to be giving a brief overview of my MacBook Pro and my iPad Pro and some of the capabilities and tools that I use on them every day as a digital marketing specialist. It's going to be kind of difficult to do some of the recordings I want to do because I use my MacBook Pro while I'm making these videos, but you guys just bear with me and I'll do my best to just show you how I use it. So the MacBook Pro or the iPad Pro? Which one do I use every day in digital marketing? Well, this is kind of cheating, but I use both. I use both the MacBook Pro and the iPad Pro daily as I work through my tasks and responsibilities as a digital marketing specialist. They both have specific things and aspects that I use them for, and the seamless iCloud software and capabilities from the two devices just work together awesome and make a big portion of my job extremely easy. Let's start with my go-to though, and the one I would probably pick over the other if it really came down to it, and that's the MacBook Pro. I mean, here it is. It's just beautiful, and I love it. It's great. This thing is a freaking beast, bro. This is the 2018 15-inch 2.2 GHz 6-core Intel Core i7 MacBook Pro that I snagged right when it came out in 2018. I was a senior in college at the time, and this computer got me through my last 2 semesters, as well as all the digital marketing tasks, personal responsibilities. Pretty much anything I do on the internet goes through this MacBook. Like I said before, this computer is an absolute beast. I mean, especially in my opinion for everything I'm doing with it. This is my daily driver, the only computer whether I'm at home, work, on the go. This is it. This is what I use. I can easily slide it into my bag, take it with me wherever I need to go. And when I get to work down at my desk, I just hook it to an external monitor, so I use it as a 2-monitor setup. If you didn't know this already, my main digital marketing skill is copywriting. So every day I'm cranking out website content, blog material, SEO metas and headlines, and a whole lot of paid advertising content. You know, along with managing Google ads and Facebook ads for a multitude of clients. But just using my MacBook Pro as opposed to my iPad Pro for all these daily tasks has just always been easier for me. I prefer working on an actual laptop as opposed to, transitioning my iPad into a laptop replacement. It's just my own personal preference. For one, I just don't have a keyboard to use on my iPad Pro, and I haven't really had a reason to buy one. So I guess that's one tick to this comparison, but just using my MacBook Pro has got the job done, and there's some things I just don't know how well those would flow over to only using an iPad. But other than that, it's just always been way more convenient to use my MacBook Pro. I can use 2 monitors, have my email pulled up, my other tasks and other bars, my Trello dashboard, all my Microsoft docs that I'm working through for different pieces of content, and you guys know the other 500 tabs that get open throughout a day that just start stacking up in the top of your toolbar. I can easily jump around from content docs to clients' WordPress sites to Facebook to Google ads to the internet for research. The bigger screen, the better specs, and the ability to just have it all hooked up, especially to an external monitor when I'm at work, just makes everything a whole lot easier and way more seamless than trying to do all that on an iPad. If I'm not sitting at my desk, I always have my MacBook Pro with me to work on the various projects that I'm doing. If I'm at home, out of town, at a client meeting in the city, I just know where all my work is stored, and I'm able to work on anything at any time because it's just all right here on my MacBook. my entire life runs through this thing. Side note, another pretty annoying thing about using the iPad Pro is it doesn't really let you have a 2-monitor setup. It just kind of mirrors what's on your iPad. And I like to have a lot of real estate when I'm working. Also, other than my daily digital marketing tasks, I use my MacBook Pro to edit my videos on Premiere Pro, edit thumbnails, different graphics in Illustrator and Photoshop, create memes, just whatever. It's just full software capabilities for those programs on my MacBook. Just everything I do runs through this guy. I just like that no matter what project I'm working on, whether it's for my digital marketing job, some freelance work, my YouTube videos, personal stuff, it's just all conveniently located right here on my MacBook Pro. Whether I'm at my office, my desk, at home, in the car, on the beach, in the mountains, a coffee shop, a Panera, I don't know. Someone hits my line, I can easily whip out my MacBook, get the job done pretty easily. But don't hear what I'm not saying, because I could realistically do all those things on my iPad Pro. Well, other than the dual monitor. But I prefer the bigger screen, the better specs, the keyboard, my trackpad, and using my MacBook Pro as, well, my laptop. But that doesn't mean I'm not whipping this guy out and using it every single day as well. My iPad Pro changed the game. It made me into someone who literally never uses paper. I mean, other than the occasional sticky note. I got this 2018 iPad Pro around the same time as I got my MacBook, which could be the reason that I've never tried to actually use it as a laptop, since I've always had this beside me. But when I got it, I was still in college and I started using it to take notes from my lectures, and let me tell you, that will absolutely change your life. The note-taking ability on the iPad is crazy, and through apps like Notability and GoodNotes, my iPad Pro pretty much changed my life when it came to note-taking. But I'm a young professional now, working a 9-to-5 job as a digital marketing specialist. And I don't take notes from lectures and studying anymore. But I'm a copywriter, and I still take hella notes. Any meeting I go to, whether it's a digital department meeting, a new client meeting regarding their website content, or whatever they want to do, I take this slim iPad Pro, leave the MacBook behind, because this is all I need. Working as a digital marketing copywriter, I'm taking so many notes on the daily, especially when I'm meeting a client for the first time and we're going over maybe 5 to 20 pages of website content that they need. And I'm, using some of those old school journalism skills I used in my past life. I open up voice memo recordings and just record our entire meetings. This is so when we're discussing their pages, products, services, history, whatever's important for their content, I always have a transcript to go back and listen to so that I can make sure I'm not missing any vital information that should be included inside the content of their website. I might have ADHD or high functioning anxiety, I don't know. But when I'm in a new client meeting and they're just talking to me, I have some of the best headline ideas that just come into my head just from listening to what they have to say. So when I'm in the meeting, I'm jotting down important headlines, quotes, just different things they're saying, and just kind of thinking about their website before it's actually designed. Sometimes even the stuff they're saying sparks more questions inside my head. And when I get back to my office, I can look at the headlines, quotes, or main points that I jotted down while they were talking, go through the recording transcript, and really hone down on the specific facts and information about their products and services and what really needs to be said on their website. I really do just be out here creating bomb freaking website pages. Writing copy is an art, and doing it well is a skill. And this system of listening and talking to clients naturally while I'm in a meeting, and then going back and listening to the full transcript and jotting all that down, helps me create way better content than if I was just sitting there without recording, trying to jot down every little thing that they were trying to say. I've also found that this makes clients feel more comfortable, and they just naturally talk to you about their business, products, and services, rather than just trying to think of every little thing that they need to tell you while you're not even paying attention to them and just looking down at your notes and writing. They're a lot less nervous and are just able to tell me what I need to know. They can do this without drawing blanks in their minds or having long pauses because they're waiting on me to write down what they're trying to say from every little word. So that's like the main use of my iPad Pro, and I love it. After taking notes on this thing, there's no way that I could ever go back to traditional pen and paper. The capabilities and apps that work so well with the iPad Pro have just completely changed the way that I look at taking notes. I'm also extremely OCD, so the ability to just erase, resize, move around, change my script to text, it just gives you so many more options, and it's pretty freaking awesome. Some of the other main things I use my iPad Pro for is media consumption. I use Procreate to kind of help with different thumbnails and stuff. I have a lot of the Creative Cloud on there, so I just kind of play around with it. I'm more comfortable using that stuff on my computer, but just being able to use my iPad Pro and Apple Pencil and sketch out what I see, it sometimes makes things easier. Sometimes I draw out my thumbnails or a certain sketch because it's easier for me to just draw it than try to do it with my cursor on Photoshop. I don't know, I'm not a Photoshop pro, I'm just like a basicer, if that's even a word. And one of my last points, I'm not sure how many people do this or even know about it, but using my MacBook Pro and iPad Pro, I can use Sidecar that's inside the macOS software and use my iPad Pro as a second monitor to my MacBook Pro. This is done wirelessly through Bluetooth, or you could hook up a wire to do this, but I usually just use it wirelessly. And the first time I did this a couple years ago, it completely blew my mind. So if I'm ever away from my desk and want more real estate on my screens, bada bing, bada boom, take out my iPad Pro, get Sidecar running, and I instantly have two monitors. Overall, I'm blessed to have both these pieces of technology and use them for two very different things. The MacBook Pro and the iPad Pro make my digital marketing life so easy, and I really like using them for what I do and what makes me feel the most comfortable. Using both of them for different reasons, but kind of in the same spectrum, has just created a system that I think works for me and helps me be more productive by using both of these things every day as a digital marketing specialist. If y'all want a more in-depth video about how I use my iPad Pro to take notes, or how I kind of run through client meetings, what apps I use and how I use them for specific tasks, you know, whether that's on my MacBook Pro or my iPad Pro, just let me know in the comments and I'll try to get one of those together for you guys. But until next time, I'll catch you good people on the flip.